Is music art or is it science? Is it just this, spontaneous burst of creativity? Or is there something more precise going on, something governed by the laws of physics and math? Well, today we're diving right into that very question.
Most of us think of music as pure art, right? It's all about that raw emotion, those creative sparks. But what if there's another side of the story? What if music is also, in a way, a science, built on patterns and principles that we can actually measure?
So on one side, you've got music as this incredibly personal thing. It's all about emotion, culture, subjectivity, right? The stuff that makes us human. But then, on the other side, it's totally governed by the hard laws of physics, these deep mathematical patterns, even our own biology. I mean, these two things sound like they're worlds apart, but we're going to see just how deeply they're connected.
Okay, so let's start with the most basic evidence we have, the hard science of sound itself. This is really ground zero for the whole argument that music is, at its core, a science.
I mean, when you boil it all down, what is music? It's just organized sound. And that's where acoustics comes in. It's a branch of physics that unpacks the incredible science behind every single note you hear, from the moment it's made to the second it hits your eardrum.
Think about it. It all kicks off with a simple vibration. A guitar string gets plucked, a drum gets hit. Those vibrations send actual, physical waves shooting through the air. And then comes the really amazing part. Our brains take over. They perform this final, incredible step of interpreting those waves as the music we know and love. It's literally pure physics in action, from start to finish.
And hey, this is not a new idea by any stretch. We're talking ancient Greeks here, especially folks like Pythagoras. They were some of the first to figure out that there's this deep mathematical precision hidden inside music. They found that simple, clean ratios, like 2-to-1 for an octave, are what make harmonies sound so good to us. So it turns out what we perceive as beautiful sound is actually rooted in some seriously structured mathematical science.
Okay, so that's the external science of sound waves. Let's shift gears and look at the internal science, what's happening inside our own heads. Because if music is physics on the outside, well, it's definitely neuroscience on the inside.
Seriously, what is actually happening in your brain when a favorite song comes on and you get goosebumps? Or when a beat drops and you just have to move? It's not magic, as cool as that would be. It's a really complex neurological event.
Yeah, neuroscience shows us that listening to music is like setting off fireworks in your brain. It's a total workout. It fires up your pleasure centers, you get that dopamine hit, it activates all these different networks at the same time. Memory, emotion, melody, rhythm, they all light up. So studying this stuff isn't just a fun hobby, it's a totally legitimate field of empirical science.
And the scientific case for music doesn't stop there. It goes even deeper, stretching beyond the physics of right now and all the way back into our deep biological past, and rocketing forward into our digital future.
So from an evolutionary angle, scientists are trying to figure out if music actually gave our ancestors a survival advantage. I mean, think about it. Could it have been an early form of communication, before we had complex language? Or maybe a tool for building stronger tribes and social bonds? When you start asking these kinds of questions, you see music not just as art, but as a crucial piece of our biological story.
Now let's fast forward to today, the 21st century. Technology is making that scientific link clearer than ever. We've got AI that can compose entire symphonies based on pure math and digital tools that create sounds nobody could have even imagined a few decades ago. So technology isn't just playing music anymore. It's actively, scientifically expanding the very definition of what music even is. Okay, but wait a second. If music is so tied up in physics and math and biology, then why can't we just cook up a perfect scientific formula for a hit song that absolutely everyone loves?
Because for all this compelling scientific evidence we've been talking about, the truth is, music's most powerful qualities seem to just break all the rules. They completely defy any kind of strict, simple scientific label.
And this is where that messy, wonderful human element comes in, and you just can't ignore it. You know how the same sad song can make one person cry their eyes out, but for someone else, it's a source of comfort? Or how a melody that's considered beautiful in one culture might sound totally jarring in another? That deeply personal, subjective impact is the one thing that just refuses to fit neatly into a scientific box.
So where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here? Well, it's not really about picking a side. It's about bringing these two ideas, which seem so opposite, together into one unified picture.
See, music isn't just one or the other. It really has this dual identity. It lives on a spectrum, right?
At one end, you have the rigid, mathematical structure of science, and at the other, you have the boundless, messy, beautiful richness of human emotion.
And honestly, that duality is what makes music so incredibly powerful. It's this one-of-a-kind place where the measurable facts of science and the intangible feeling of art come together. And what they create is something that resonates with pretty much every part of what it means to be human.
So the next time you put on a song, just listen for a second and ask yourself, what are you hearing? The art or the science? The amazing thing is, the answer is always both, just beautifully woven together.